Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TheFloofCast. This is episode number 6. I am Red, aka Jalou, the moderator and host, uh, and I am here with Draco.
Hello.
We gotta work on that timing. Nova is again out away this time. She's a very busy girl. She has like a billion gazillion jobs that she has to do. She may return. Hopefully, she will return. I shouldn't say may. She hopefully will return next month sometime when she has winter break. She is a college student, so she's dealing with that. Anyways, this is going to be a different podcast. This is actually a Q&A. We do apologize that we kind of waited to like the last minute to ask for questions. I will make sure. It was just something in the back of my mind that I thought we should do after watching Kaga's wine stream and Two Griffin's beer stream. I kind of got the concept in the back of my mind, so I'm gonna go with. We decided I wanted to go with a Q&A, just liven it up because it's just me and him this weekend, and we didn't want. I wasn't in the mood to have any guest hosts, so we're gonna get into it. We're gonna ask questions. We do give shout outs to the people who gave us the questions, so if you're interested, please leave comments in the comment section below. We will use them for the next Q&A stream. When will that be? Whenever we feel like it, or whenever we don't have a topic really up to date for that weekend. We will substitute it, and hopefully if I catch it within like Wednesday, I and Draco will get on to the fandom sites that we're on, along with maybe Facebook, and hopefully I get the Twitter account for our Twitter, for the TheFloofCast Twitter, and I'll put that in the section below, and we will tweet it out as well. So please do follow that. Follow us as many places we possibly can, so you can keep up. So we'll let you know when we're doing another Q&A. Follow me, follow Draco, follow Nova. Well, don't follow. You can follow Nova, but she probably won't say anything because she's, busy.
Oh, we also do have a Twitter set up now.
Yes, and we will have that in the description below. Anyways, we'll go off for our first question. It is from Max the Bear Trap Lopez. He asks a very good question. He wants to know what is the TheFloofCast. I will take this away because it's a very interesting concept. It's a very new concept, and not very many people in the fandom have heard about it because we're very new. This is only our 6th episode, and we've done other things. But what the TheFloofCast is a podcast. Just like your normal podcast, but it's more of a furry-based podcast. I know there's probably other ones out there, few of them out there, but we decided to go with something more that is constant and up to date. So what we strive to do is we strive to answer questions about the fandom, and we strive to showcase art for the fandom and artists. And we also try to make the fandom a better place and knowledgeable place for other people. And it's not necessarily just for people in the fandom, but maybe people from the outside looking in could sit down and watch our casts and go, oh, okay, so this is what this is all about. And coming from a ranter and then a non-ranter, don't get me started, but yeah. So that is my interpretation of the TheFloofCast, very beginnings of it, but we strive to get better and have more, and we do hope to have bigger and more guests on, and bigger guests as well. Your thoughts, Draco?
You pretty much covered all of it, but like I said, when thought we were, never mind. But basically, it's I thought of it. You graciously helped with it because of limitations I have right now. We are basically one of the only regular fur-related channels, period, to be uploading right now. Get inspiration from fur media, but they are right now. They only have their podcast only, and that can be a semi-unregular bi- or tri-weekly basis, depending on how busy or if they don't have anything to talk about at the time. It's also a great thing to bring others together that share interests and inform others about personal experiences from us that are getting into the fandom as well.
Right. Let's see. Okay. We have another one from Red Hawkfield, and he wants to know, and all these questions are, some of them are fan-based for the basis, and some of them aren't, which is completely fine. Again, feel free to ask us in the comment section below questions. We will use them for next week, and hopefully I will be able to give you a more earlier, hey, we're doing Q&A again this week, heads up. We kind of started on Friday because it came to me in like a 2-hour, 2 o'clock in the morning thing, and I couldn't get the whole Draco until the next day because he was out cold. So,
dead.
Yeah, pretty much. So, Red Hawkfield asks, what type of games do you like to play? Draco, please, if you'd like to cover that one.
Oh, the games I really like to play right now are somewhat RPG based. There are a few shooters I like Grand Theft Auto right now, despite being 2 years old, I believe.
More, I think it's 3 or 4, actually, surprisingly enough.
Well, however old, they're not as fast as they used to be, but the ones they have now, due to the fact they've left the old generation of console in the dust, I'm sorry, they have the ability to bring out bigger updates. Outside of that, I've been liking Dragon Age Inquisition. By the way, I'm taking off the Venus now, thank you.
I need to stop hitting freaking the end button. I keep forgetting. I'm trying to tap to the end of the question, and I remember that my home and my end buttons are start stream and stop stream.
Did you just stop it again?
I restarted it in the middle, so a bit will be lost, but apologies. That's on my end.
Quick thing for whatever was cut out. GTA last gen update, or last gen consoles being left in, bigger updates, still fairly fun because of what they bring out. Also, where I left off, if that was cut out.
No, I caught it. I was actually sitting here watching it when it happened.
Dragon Age Inquisition I'm still enjoying that game, despite the fact it is old and most people don't support EA titles or whoever makes it.
I don't support EA whatever. But don't,
or the people that made Dragon Age, but I do enjoy the series. It is one of the good original console-based RPGs to come out. So I can't fault them on that. I've always liked the series, even when I was in junior high school, when the original game came out.
Okay.
And also, other games I enjoy, a lot of PlayStation 1 and 2 games. The old Spyro series, Haunting Ground, for those of you that can remember that, was a good series. And the Jak and Daxter games as well. Not Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. Jak and Daxter were good, but Ratchet and Clank were the ones that I really liked.
And allegedly they're making a fucking movie about it.
Yes, they are.
And I don't have no fucking... I have no hope for it. But that's just me.
And sadly, Spyro movie did fall through. It was based on the Legend of series of games. I hope Ratchet and Clank follows through, because if it does, and it does good, that would open up a gateway to all these older games that people remember they can make into movies.
Ratchet and Clank are still being made.
I think this was their final game this year.
I don't know.
What I heard anyway.
Mine, well, shameless plug. Anything I like to play is on my YouTube channel, pretty much. When I don't YouTube it, it's mostly because I can't do the computer setup I have of my potato toaster oven. I tend to play Ark on the side, but mostly anything that's on my YouTube channel currently, or has been on my YouTube channel, is stuff that I like to play. RPG style games, action RPG style games, all the Elder Scrolls series, all the Fallout series. I am pissed that I don't have a decent computer, and I'm pissed I didn't have the money to get more RAM and get more and get the game, but hopefully by next month I should have all that clear, and I'll be able to play the new Fallout series, the Fallout 4. I'm looking forward to play that game. I have not heard anything from anybody about it. I've had friends who are playing it right now, and all I see every time I turn on Steam is, haha, I'm playing Fallout 4 and you're not. And I was like, God damn it. I've moved from the console versions of Bethesda games, mainly because of mods, so I've come to the PC. For all I know, my computer can't handle it whatsoever. But if it doesn't do that, that's fine, because the creation kit is not even out yet for the mod community, even though there are people still making mods for Fallout 4. Other than that, that is about it for my gaming. I can start and talk about gaming all day long, but that is more geared towards my YouTube channel, because, again, shameless plug, I do YouTube videos, and I do gaming YouTube videos, so it's really, I tend to shy away talking about it here, because I do it other places, so I don't want to do it here. Okay, next question is from Oliver the Skunk. If you guys are ever ended up being abducted by peaceful aliens and neither side would eventually kill the other with stuff like diseases or whatever, what would you do? Well, do you want to cover this first? Because I go on.
Your reaction first.
Plain and simple. It would probably. I'm a original Star Trek fan, and not the movies. Not the movies. I didn't like. I tried to watch the Shatner ones. I tried to watch the new ones. No, I am Enterprise, the television series. I am, you know, the secondary Enterprise. I am Star Trek, Deep Space Nine. All those guys. I would probably do the same thing like they did in the original Enterprise when they met like Spock and shit like that. The Vulcans would be ambassador to Earth. And personally, I think it could be better ambassador to Earth than fucking some of the politicians that we have now. Because virtually if it's peaceful, and then we have some dumbass guy, Republican, or some dumbass Democrat, or some dumbass person, period, going, ow, I want to shoot you out of the sky, and we want your technology, we would virtually be boned. They'd either go, well, fuck you, and vaporize us, or just go, fuck you, and leave. So I'd probably be more of an ambassador, you know, learn, talk with them, interested in them. I'm like that now, though. I'm always interested in listening to what people have to say about different subjects. You catch me on a bored day, I will sit down and listen to you. I may not like what you're into, but I will sit down and listen to you talk about it. A few of my friends have already noticed that about me, that they can sit there and ramble on about things that I particularly don't care, I particularly don't like, and I'd find interest in it, and I'd ask questions about it. And of course I'd like to, you know, maybe have them take me to another planet, something like that. Take me to their home, so I can see that, see how well a different civilization, more advanced than we are, and they're going to be more advanced than we are. That's just given. We, compared to them, are chimpanzees playing with sticks and stones. I have a tendency of watching bored when I'm bored. Not really when I'm bored. I tend to listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson and people like that talk about things, and listen to Carl Sagan talk about aliens and stuff like that. Is, in comparison, we are monkeys to them. We are learning how to stick a stick into an anthill to pull out the ants so we can eat them. Or we're learning to beat a coconut with a rock to get the meat out. In comparison to them being virtually our advances threefold. But I think humans, if we don't fuck it up, have a very well ability to become as advanced as they are. Mainly because if you look in the last 100 years, how we have advanced to having personal computers in our pockets, to doors that open automatically, to being able to put a man on the moon, put probes, having a space probe go all the way out to Pluto, having Mars.
Reconstructive spine surgery with an incision less than an inch long.
Yeah, something like that. Thank you for interrupting. I am in scientific transit right now. You know, that's my thought on it. We can get to there. We can get to Mars if we wanted to. It's not going to be on the backs of NASA anymore. It's not going to be on the backs of our government, because our government virtually said, fuck you, we don't care no more. It's going to be on the back of people like the Russian government, the Japanese, other countries, the EU, I think, believes has a space program, and private funding people like SpaceX and Virgin Mobile, or Virgin Galactic, or whatever the hell his Bronson's space program series is, even though his plane crashed recently. But yeah, I see it being more privatized. It'll be like the Aliens in the Alien movies. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's a good series. Where it would be big corporations or just big wealthy people running the space program. And which is sad to say that America is not interested in space anymore. And, well, the government is not, at least, because we have no drive for it. There's no military drive for it, as Neil deGrasse Tyson likes to claim. And it's true. I mean, we only went to the moon because the Soviets were going to the moon, and it was a Cold War. So, in end, if we wanted to get to Mars tomorrow, the only way to do that is to have the Chinese say, hey, we're going to put military bases on Mars, and all of a sudden we'd be there in 2 weeks flat. If that, a year flat. It would probably be a year flat, but in concept it'd be 2 weeks. It'd be, instead of it being, 2030, it'd be next year. We would be there. But it is what it is. That's my thoughts on what would I do if aliens, and my thoughts on space and mankind as a whole. Your turn.
Quick thing I want to add on, though, to that last thing. The U.S. may not have drive to go to space first, but I think society is, thankfully, even though a lot of countries still hate each other, I think society is to the point where it's like China's doing the Bering Strait Railroad, Taiwan is trying to do the space elevators, and Russia is trying to go to Mars. I don't think they care who does what first. I think it's more to the point that whatever gets done, they know is going to better the world as a whole.
Yeah, and I mean, I get into more in depth on this and start sounding like Neil deGrasse Tyson or other astrophysicists and stuff like that, but I don't want to get into it because over time it can be boring for a younger audience. But really, we used to have we had a great space program, and now we don't have anything. How do we get to space? Either through SpaceX, for one thing, and that's privately funded by Elon Musk, or two, we go to Russia and go, hey, Russia, could you put a couple of our astronauts in your Soyuz rocket and shoot it into space, please? How much is that? Oh, okay, a couple million, like $32 million, give or take. Okay. Our feared enemy. We're turning
a little into like Japan. Like we dropped out on the space travel because we did what we needed to do, but we're more focused on technological discoveries.
What happened was the shuttle explosion. That's what happened. And the president going, we need to get rid of it, and we got rid of it, but we didn't have something to replace it. And now we're trying to pick up the pieces to replace it, and we have nothing to replace it with. Thankfully, people like Elon Musk with SpaceX and other bigger companies out there are going, hey, we got the pieces for you, but until then, we have to ask the Russians and the Soyuz rocket, which is decades upon decades old, to launch our astronauts into space for us, which is sad, but that's just the way it is. Like I said, don't listen, if you want to hear more people rant on about it, look up Neil deGrasse Tyson, look up other astrophysicists. Don't listen to me. They have more in depth. They can get into it better than I can. They have the background for it. I'm just rambling on about it because I can.
As for what I do with the aliens, back to the original question, if they're really peaceful and they can understand us, to be like, hey, take me to a beach. Get me out of this winter.
This is why I wanted you to go first, but so be it. Okay, you done? to kind of know what you've done. Kind of fill it out there. Number 4 from Casey Jones asks, what is better, wolf furries or fox furries? I'm going to take this one first, and not because I'm going to ramble off like I did last time. I'm going to take it first because I am biased. I don't particularly care between the two of them. I am part both. In my background story of my character, my father was a hybrid of a wolf and a fox, and my mother was a bear. So we'll just leave it at that. That's my opinion on it. I have no better opinion than that because I don't care which is better. My father was both, so we'll leave it at that. Draco.
Yeah, I like both as well. If it was life or death and I had to pick one, it would be the fox because that was my original Sona. While I was still getting into the fandom, like serious in the fandom and not just knowing about it.
But what is better? That's the question. I can't answer it because I am both. You can answer it. I cannot.
Better would probably be the fox because, well, yes, they hunt in packs and stuff, but a fox can live by itself. And they do have that ability to listen underneath snow and then find their prey, which is something a wolf really can't do. But nothing beats a dragon.
That was an ass, but okay.
I don't care, I gotta stay true.
Number 5. Question number 5 is from Ty. Ty is a friend of ours and asked, who is your favorite Papa Fur?
I can take this. It's actually a double question, and I think we should
Well, we're gonna go through. This one, I'm going through the first part first. Go ahead.
So we should go for the second question first on what is a Papa Fur.
And the second one is what is a Papa Fur?
Yeah, a Papa Fur is someone known throughout the community, well known throughout the community that most people, with a lot of people, you can just kind of randomly say their name.
Kage, 2 Griffin, I know, telephone. I know.
Yes, people you can just casually bring up to other furs and they know who you're talking about.
Well, I knew of 2 more than I knew it's a long story on that one. Reason why I met Mr. Kage was mostly because I was watching his video, because I was looking at fursuit videos, and this poor dog was going into a... Anyways, he was going in to buy some pizza, and there's this weird guy dressed up in a suit and tie, or not suit, just a nice dress suit, a nice tie, and a pair of khakis. You know, he treated this dog like shit. And I'm like, who the fuck is this fucking asshole? First I thought, okay, it could be the guy's father playing along. I can live with that. But just the way he started acting with them, it's like, I wonder, who is this guy? And I mentioned I mentioned the name in the description of the YouTube video, and my friend's like, yeah, that's Kage. He's big in Anthrocon and other things. I'm like, who? And he's like sending me other videos like, eh? Still, he was a douchebag in that video. Plain and simple. But I know he was playing. It's all fun and love and games. But that's my first opinion on him, and that's how I found out about him. But everybody knows who the hell too the Ranting Griffin is. If you don't know who that is, then get out from underneath the rock. But go ahead, go back to what you're saying.
Back on topic.
I was still on topic.
As for my favorite right now, I know I went through a rant on this, kind of half-assed on a podcast, being like, oh, I don't have one, blah, blah, blah. The one I do have right now that I don't have any kind of problem with, and yes, I'm not saying there's a problem with Zabu either because we keep bringing him up, but there's some... But the one that outbeats him is someone who only has over 1,000 subscribers, and that is Rin the Sergal. The reason he is my favorite is he just acts like himself. He doesn't upload often, but when he dances, he does what he wants. He doesn't try to cave in to what other people like or what would get him more views. He just finds those people that can relate.
Right. I have a list. For the OG, the original furs, is 2 Griffin and Kasger. Those are my 2 favorites because they're old. They're for what?
Oh, I forgot to mention 2 Griffin, but I wouldn't even really call him like a popular fur. I just call him like a founder.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're still popular. They're still furry. They're still in the fandom. Doesn't matter. They're classified. Plain and simple. They're my OGs. They're the original guys. They're the ones that have been there forever. My favorite YouTuber is Zabu. Mainly because he does other things and other just, I'm in a fursuit, blah. He does gaming stuff. He does helpful videos that are helpful for young pups in the fandom and whatnot. And my favorite dancer is Rin. Other than that, everyone else, everybody's gonna go, what about telephone? What about telephone? What about She's cute. I get it. As an actor, as I look at her for an actor for as many years as I've been acting off and on throughout school and whatnot, she can keep it in the character. Other than that, I don't find the ooh and ah everybody seems. Maybe because I've never seen her in real life, but through the videos and through just people talking about her, I just don't see it. Yes, she can keep a character, and she can keep her character throughout her, time at a FurCon, which is great. But other than that, I don't see anything into her. And that's my thoughts on my popular furs who I like.
And I don't want to step on any toes, but I have talked with several other people, and for the most part, most people are in agreement that her real rise to popularity was... I don't know them, I don't know what's between them, and I don't want to step on any toes, but from what I've understood, a lot of people that have agreed, yes, part of her rise was piggybacking on the likes of like 2 Griffin and Kage.
Well, I wouldn't say riding. And
I wouldn't say riding, but I'm not going to say that's why all of her popularity is what it is right now, but I'm saying that was a big boost to it.
Alright, let me finish my thoughts. From watching 2 Griffin and Kage's wine stream, when he was on the wine stream with Kage, if they see someone that they like, and if they see someone who has talent, they're more than willing to help said person. So I can understand, as I said, as an actor, I can understand how she has had help from him, because she is able to stay in character, and she's able to do whatever the Angel Dragon character, cuteness, whatever it may be, throughout her time on camera or throughout her time at a con. That's important. And as 2 Griffin's seen, he liked it, and he knew that, and the fact that she can stay in character is what made her be popular to him, and the fact that she's cute. That's how I see it. I don't think she's riding on anybody's coattails. She's working hard to be able to stay in character, which is hard for a lot of furs. I've seen a lot of furs, 1 minute they'd be barking or mowing or whatever, and next minute they'd be having a drawn-out conversation. Where if you have a drawn-out conversation with telephone, it is chirps. Plain old simple chirps. And only time you'll not see her in suit or her talking is if she's on a panel, or if she's probably back in a room or somewhere on the side where most of the masses won't see it. Then she'll be talking. But when she's out in front of the masses, she'll be in her role, which is completely fine. And that's why I think she was kind of thrusted and why 2 liked her. And I can understand that. Okay, 7 through 9. 7 through 9 is from Nero Wolf. He asked me, how would Red define a lifestyler? And it's also towards Draco. How would I define a lifestyler? Well, the definition of a lifestyler, I believe, is that someone who falls into a specific lifestyle. i.e. someone who's a car lifestyler, who's into automobiles, who's into cars, who's into this and that, and blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna actually Google it, because why the frick not? To get the actual true definition, so we don't confuse you little pups out there. According to the Urban Dictionary, wrong freaking one. It is the other one. Is a lifestyle is a person who adopts a certain mode of living that can easily be recognized and understood by others. E.g. an automotive lifestyler is a person who enjoys owning and driving a nice car. A pro sports lifestyler wears pro team apparel, attends numerous games, and is a fan of teams and has team paraphernalia in prominent places in his home. So what it is someone who's really into something. But technically a lifestyler is anybody to a certain degree. I'm a gaming lifestyler. I love games. I have a lot of games. You look at my Steam, I have like 88 games on Steam. But does not mean my life revolves around it. It's more coming down to that their life revolves around it. And I guess you could say the same thing about furries. Furries can be considered a lifestyler because they're all into wearing suits and this and that and this. But it's here nor there. It shouldn't be something that you should... That's all I gotta say about lifestylers. Because it's more of a... It's a term to be put onto someone that really doesn't need to be there. Any comments on that?
Not really. Unless people out there consider themselves lifestylers, I would ask that you do be respectful and not try to push your views heavily on others that aren't fully into them.
Agreed. Number 8. Are cartoons like Tom and Jerry considered to be furry? That's actually a good question. Would you like to take this one?
Sure. Actually, cartoons like Tom and Jerry, Mighty Mouse,
Mickey Mouse,
Looney Tunes, stuff like that. Yes, they can be related to the fandom now because we have the technology and social media to share it and identify like that. But originally, stuff like Zootopia or that one furry-based game now, they weren't intended to be furry related. It's basically like what Disney practices right now. They do the animal gimmick to get away with some technically ethnical stuff they couldn't get away with people. And it also has great draw for younger audiences that could become long-time watchers of series like that.
I mean, I could see it like Mickey Mouse is the best one that we could talk about. Because if you go into the classification of anthropomorphic, it is an animal that stands upright, if I'm correct. You may go ahead and quote me on this because you've been in the fandom a lot longer than I have. That can speak and does sometimes wear clothing. Going to Mickey Mouse.
Base standard of that is just an animal that has human characteristics.
Well, human characteristics would also be wearing clothing. Allow me to finish. Mickey Mouse. He wears the little pants. He's got clothes on. He can talk. He stands upright. He is a mouse. Minnie Mouse. Same thing. She stands upright. She talks. She wears clothes. She has a house. So forth. Now, Pluto is Mickey's dog. In the concept of the fandom, Pluto would be considered feral. He doesn't stand upright. He does not speak. He is Mickey's pet. As in another twist, Goofy is also a dog. Goofy stands upright, speaks, owns a house, wears clothing, and works at a job, which is all humanistic characteristics. That's my thought on this, is because the fandom has only been around for a certain amount of time, I believe the 80s, maybe a little earlier than that, that these original characters that have been around a lot longer, as we look at them now, we think of them as furry. Back then, no, it's just a cartoon character. Bugs Bunny's been around since the 20s, Mickey Mouse has been around earlier than that.
And they're so good, they're still around.
But yes, in aspects, Walt Disney thought of a way of making a character that he can do other things that a human couldn't officially do, and get away with it. And that's the thing about the animalistic. You can fall back on it. Yes,
there
would you like to interrupt me with?
There is one wild card that I would question if it's feral or anthropomorphic, and that would be Scooby-Doo. Because if you think about it, yes, he is feral, yes, he does have the barks and stuff, but he can use his front paws and jumps into Shaggy's arms, and he can talk, although not
fluently.
Great.
That's something to allow the people of the fandom to decide on their own. All of this is just, yes, we can see it as this, yes, we can see it as that, but it comes down to what do you perceive and how do you perceive it. As what I know of the fandom and as what I know of the definition, I see it as this. Yes, they are, because they fall under the classification of what it's meant to be. Other than that, it doesn't mean, do I care? Does it make a difference that Mickey Mouse is, a furry? No. I don't care. I don't like Mickey Mouse. I'm not going to change my thoughts of Mickey Mouse. Whatever. And one I would say the most furry would be Bugs Bunny. Because he just takes shit over the top. I mean, he's cross-dressed, he's dressed, acts like a woman, kisses, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just saying, he does more than just a normal guy. Any more thoughts on that?
No, not really, although, sadly and not sadly, because of the way the fandom is growing, luckily there are more shows and stuff based towards the actual fandom.
Yes. Another one that I'd like to bring back, because I've been watching a lot of wine streams and listening to a lot of Kage stuff, is SWAT Cats. The reason why I bring that up is because, one, it's his favorite show. And the reason I also bring it up is because he has a character based off of him. He wrote into the creators of SWAT Cats, and they liked it so much that they made a character after him in Season 2, Episode 1. Look it up if you want to know about it. And it's because it's, yes, he's a furry, but it's the fact that sometimes these creators recognize that as a whole. I guess there's another one out there of him out from Pixar movie, and he first like, oh, it's just a coincidence, but the concept is, he's become so popular now, and so is the fandom, that a lot of these third-party revolving moons, whatever you want to call it, talk about it like Pixar. All of a sudden, they know this guy. They've seen this guy. Maybe they have a kid in the fandom or whatever. And all of a sudden, people are adding things in to be basic, of the fandom into their little own movie or whatever it may be. And that's, I kind of think, another reason why Zootopia is coming out, though, too. Because Disney is about money now, and they realize that there is a basis of money in the fandom. And they know that they can get away by making a movie. They may be the first ones who are actually cementing a movie, but so be it. Okay, question number 9 from Nero as well. What are otherkin? Now, for those who don't know what otherkin are, I'll read you the Wikipedia definition of otherkin. and we'll get into our thoughts after it. Otherkin are people who identify themselves as partially or entirely non-human. Some say that they are in spirit, if not in body, not human. This is explained by some members of the Otherkin community as possible, though reincarnation, having a non-human soul, ancestry, blah 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 blah. Google it yourself if you want the full definition. I only know the term Otherkin because I did a recent furry poll and it asked if I'm considered an Otherkin, and I looked it up. My personal opinion on Otherkin is, hey, what you want to believe, but it's right out there for me to try to get my head wrapped around it. Draco would probably be able to talk about this a lot more because he's been in the fandom for 15 years and he's probably heard about this template more than I have.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just gonna say I'm not Otherkin. I don't care what people think if they think of themselves as Otherkin, but I don't understand it. And it's not really something I really want to understand. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm not gonna say Otherkin are bad. Actually, if you do believe that.
Oh boy.
But
1 second. Apologies about that. There was some noise in the background that I didn't want to come over the recording, and Draco had to go, and I both had to go to the bathroom, so we decided to stop there. But we're going to continue on Draco's thoughts on Otherkin.
me, Otherkin is a cool concept, and I don't personally relate to it, because for those who think they can relate themselves to a certain animal or specific pack, that's cool for you. I mean, that's good for you. I'm not saying you're wrong or right. I'm not wrong or right. There is no specific definition of that. But I wouldn't relate it to furries, although there are some in the fandom that are Otherkin, and I do applaud them for that, because in order for them to live themselves, they have to overcome multiple obstacles just to be in the fandom.
It's a very, I'm guessing, a very small percentage of the fandom. Maybe 2%? Maybe 5 at the most?
Maybe less, maybe more.
5 at the most? 5% at the most? 1% at the least?
But I don't see the hate they get from others, or just random people, or even those in the fandom, because they relate themselves to an animal spiritually, which is just fine. It's their belief. I don't know why people feel the need to judge them for it. And honestly, it's not like a majority of Otherkin actually physically go out into the wild and try to find that species to live with.
The thing I gotta say about it, which I kind of find weird if there is hatred of it in the fandom, is the whole spiritual aspect of it. I don't know how many times I've heard of people claiming that for how they created their persona. So why should you be bitching at an Otherkin who believes it wholeheartedly while you say the same thing and that's how you end up with your Sona? Because I know that there's a lot of people out there who say, "Oh, I've dreamt my Sona into existence. That's why I am what I am." Or I feel a soul tethered to a wolf. It just, you don't take it as far as the Otherkin, but you may not take it as far as the Otherkin, but it doesn't mean that you don't have the same concept that they do. And other people on the outside, I don't see why they think of it as wrong. I believe, I'm not a religious person, so I could be wrong. Feel free to quote me if you're part of the religion, but I believe the Hindu religion believe in the fact of reincarnation, and reincarnation to them is not just reincarnation to a man or a woman, it's reincarnation into animals as well. If you're very bad in one lifetime, you may be reincarnated as a tapeworm or a little minuscule bug, and then once you die in that one, hopefully you were good in that concept, and the god decides to reincarnate you as a higher species animal. and then back to human. Then you build your way back up to a human again. In that concept, then technically otherkin is, if the definition is correct, also feel the same way. So I don't see why other people should feel hatred towards it. But then there is other biases out there that people just, they don't give a damn, and they're going to be biased no matter what. My thoughts on otherkin are just, I really don't have any. I don't understand it. It's right now. I just don't feel like trying to understand it. If I sat down and talked with an otherkin and had a face-to-face conversation with one, I'd be able to understand a lot better. But personally, I'm not gonna try to right now. Really care to. I can just let that just slip below my radar, and I don't have preferences for it or against it, or hatred for it or against it. I just don't care.
One thing I do want to add on to it, though, is for those who watch this and you're in the fandom and you find people of otherkin weird, or you harass people who are otherkin, I ask you to please grow up. They're already in the fandom and they're already seen as outsiders from a majority of the population. We don't need to have them feel like outcasts in the fandom where they seek refuge for people who share similar ideas that they do.
And Chu made a point in one of his on-stage debuts, is we are an accepting bunch of people. We're all crazy, but we are an accepting bunch of people. We don't care the concept is, we don't care. Hey, we want to bring our non-furry friend to a convention. Do you think other furries will care? No. They shouldn't. But there are some out there who do think of that way, and you shouldn't think of it that way. You shouldn't have hatred or bias towards people. The fandom is a group of people who are bending the minds of just the normal people out there, and how accepting we are and how much we love each other and stuff like that. We shouldn't have any opposite reactionary effects or thoughts to other people. Especially, we don't care if you're black, white, brown, pink, purple. We don't care if you're Christian, Jewish, Muslim. We don't care if you believe you're an otherkin. We shouldn't care if we believe you're an otherkin, nor should we care about anything, because we are just crazy motherfuckers who just want to have fun. That's the important thing. That's my thought and basis on that. Is just don't judge people, because the fandom doesn't judge people as it is. Why should you alone start judging people because they are otherkin and they believe a different way than you do? Okay, number 10 from 2000 Nostalgia. What do you see for the future of the fandom? What I see for the future of the fandom is more, every major continent having a furry convention in it, if not one more. And as at this point in time, it's already beginning to do that. I see also more people understanding and accepting us. It's starting to happen as it is. I just watched a video not too long ago of a German furry who was doing I think it was Cinderclaws Festival. And it was like a group of furries in a parade. And, it had kids, waving and smiling, and you had parents standing there next to the kids, and you had other people intermingling, and they didn't care. There was no hatred, there was no evil looks, there was no like, oh, get your kid away from me. They were just like, whatever. That's what I see the fandom in the future. I see the fandom as, constant. There'll be conventions, conventions will be there, more artwork, will be more open to the world, and people will hopefully understand us a lot better, and will be accepted a lot more. And like I said, we've already got to that point to a certain degree.
No, is it my turn?
I stop talking. It's your turn.
I'm sorry, I didn't know if you're taking a pause, but alright. What I see in the future of the fandom, it's only going upwards. And I will admit, compared to like 10 years ago, it is popular, and people like Tuber and Kage, they really have come out to be their own personalities. They are known around the world, inside and outside of the fandom, but the fandom is also at kind of a low point because there's all these. I'm not like discriminating age groups either, but there are all these younger people in the fandom. But those who stay with it, it's going to turn into a good thing because they got into it early, unlike a lot of the ones that are well known now who got into it late or like in their 30s in life, like Kage and Tuber. But all these younger,
older than that.
But all these younger people in the fandom right now, 15, 13, 10, whatever.
9, 8.
Those who stay with it are going to be like me. They're going to grow up with the fandom. They're going to grow a deep respect with it. And unlike their generation, where it was still growing, still very unknown, they're going to be able to teach the generation after them the goods about the fandom. It's not just about sex. It's not just a weird fetish or someone doesn't have a mental illness about it. They'll be able to teach all these people, all these younger kids behind them, that it's going to be a good thing. So it is at a low point now, or it was at a low point. It's slowly getting better, and as soon as they get older, they get their job, they get families of their own, kind of like Zabu is right now with his kid. It's just gonna get better.
And hopefully they'll be smart enough to not force their kid into it. If the kid doesn't like it, the kid doesn't like it, so be it. But the fandom isn't something that you join and then you get out of. It's not like something where you can go, oh, I'm in it, yay, and then I'm not in it no more. It's just something that you're in for the rest of your life.
Yeah, no, and I know it's hard.
Strap up your boots and join, and welcome to the club, the unique club, the furry, little fuzzy club. But you know, it is what it is.
And it's one of those things. It's people who want to defend it hard, like they're gonna put their heart, body, and soul into defending the fandom. It's not gonna have 100% likeness to it. There's always going to be hate. I mean, I hate to bring it up, but there has been wars about religion for thousands upon thousands of years, and there's wars still raging on nowadays. So there's not going to be a full it's accepted, that kind of stuff.
Once people get better understanding of it, it'll be. I wouldn't say it'd be accepted 100%. It'd just be, They're just those crazy kids over there that are doing something. I don't care. It's not affecting me. Whatever. You know, the people will be that point in their life. It won't be, those weirdos who just stand in front of the school and do, you know, they're just those crazy sexual perverted people. No, they're just going to be the, They're going to be the guys who come to town and make the town a lot of money. Yay. And then, some go home, some stay, but, Okay, and last question from Fanta the Angel Dragon. Okay, says, here's one. Why are fursuits so hard to make? My opinion on this, I never made a fursuit. I've never tried to make a fursuit, nor do I want to make a fursuit, but I know people who have made them. And I've watched people make them. And the reason why it's so hard to make is it's complicated. It's just not something like a piece of paper and a doodle, and then you can draw it out and you're good. There's a lot of steps to do it. And from learning how to sew, to learning how to sculpt, to learning how to put electronics together if you want those cool glowy LED eyes, to using a hot glue gun properly, to having to deal and cut the fur properly. There's a lot of steps to it, and anywhere in those many steps you can mess up And it's not like in drawing that you're drawing on your computer or your tablet right now while watching this, or pencil, you know, on a piece of paper where you can erase the problem and start all over again. You make a mistake, it's either you better hope you can fix it by either adding fur to it, if it's a fur problem, or the mistake is not that bad in the foam design that you have to redo it again. That's why it's really hard to make, is there's a lot of steps into making it. And it's just not simple as taking a base out there and slapping some fur on it and you're done. It is sculpting. It's taking a lot of different styles of art. You have clothes design, which I consider a style of art. So you have to know the different types of needlework, different types of stitching. Then there is sculpting involved if you decide to make your head out of foam, and you have to sculpt the foam by hand. There is electronics involved. Like I said, if you decide to do those eyes, there's actually molding of plastic involved. You want to make those toony follow me eyes, you know, and that's just the basic. And then you have to overlay that with the fur, and if you're not careful with that fur and you're not doing it right, you're not doing the seams right, you're not using the hot glue gun right, it's not going to come out 100% looking good. So yes, it's very difficult, and I give those fursuit makers a lot of props in making it. And that's why if you order a full fursuit, especially from a big time fursuit maker, it's going to probably take you about 5 years to get your fursuit, because of the fact is they've got people in front of the line doing it, and it takes a long time to do it, to make it look right, to make it look nice. And that's just, you know, the toony stuff. Wait till you get into something that's like semi-realistic. Those things can probably take you 10 to 15 years to get a full fursuit if they're not backlogged. I mean, if they're not backlogged, then hey, you might be lucky to get it in 5 years. But if they're backlogged, it's going to be probably 8 to 10 if you're lucky. But that's my thoughts about it, why it's so hard to make them. I've never made them, but there's just the steps in it as a whole to make them, and different things you need to do to it. It's just, that's what makes it hard for me. That's what makes me think it's hard, is because just you don't have one step. Cut out fur, and you're done. You've got 50 steps just for one part.
Yep. I could go into a lot of detail because for years I have been researching that stuff. Another reason it is so hard is, besides the stitching, besides that stuff, I'm not going to look at it from like a do-it-yourself view. I'm going to look at it you're ordering kind of thing. Is the person has to order the product, they need to wait for the delivery of the product, all this stuff, make sure it's right, check it. If something's wrong, they need to send it back and then wait for it to be delivered back, so you have to wait for that.
Not everybody's got a upholstery or fabric or hobby shop down the road for them.
Nope, and most of the time, unless you live in a really big city, you would have to get it delivered. And the part that takes so long besides the delivery is you have to sculpt the head, you have to double check it, you have to be in contact with the person who bought it, show them references, wait for the money to go through in order to start it in the first place. Down payment, that's something very important. Pretty much every fursuit maker out there will not start your suit until they have a down payment of like a third of the total cost.
I don't blame them that way.
No, but when it comes to the head, they have to sculpt it. They have to make sure that, a lot of them, they have to make sure the jaw moves. They have to hot glue. They have to hot glue the fur on. They have to cut the fur, measure it, hot glue it. they have to put on the ears. So the ears are hard for a lot because it's not like foam. It's not like the jaw that usually be fragile. They're foam and you could break them easily. So they have to put some kind of like wiring and support in there to keep them up. And after you hot glued, you have to add in the interior, the special features like the fan, the eyes, the wiring underneath the fur to keep the LEDs in the eyes from showing. And there's a whole big stuff with the tails, the paws, bodysuits. The bodysuit is the easy part, but it's also possibly one of the more time-consuming because you have to give them a duct tape dummy of yourself that they have to fit it to. So they also have to wait for you to mail them something in order to be able to fit it to your shape.
Unless you're lucky and you have a fursuit maker right down the street from you. Then you could probably hop on over there and do all the measurements.
No, you would still need the duct tape dummy.
Really?
Because they have. Yeah, because what are you gonna do for 3 months? Just go over there every day and just stand in the same position as they make sure everything works.
Well, it's to do with suits.
Yes, but
I know. Just continue on.
there's just a lot to consider. I mean, even with the tail. I mean, look at Sergals and dragons and stuff with these big tails. They have to add a spine. Have to make sure they know how to sew it in order to keep its shape. They have to pick, like the end of a Sergal's tail. They have to do that, and they have to add the extra long fur at the end, and need to make sure they know how to stitch it well so it doesn't just rip out after dragging for a day or two. There's just it is definitely one of the more advanced. It's definitely one of the most advanced things you'll come across with sewing.
Yep. But I think that's a good place for us to stop for today. I'd like to thank everybody who asked us a question. I hope you guys enjoyed the answers. Again, feel free to, in the comment section down below, put in more questions. We'll use them for another date. Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you guys next time. We hope you guys enjoyed. This is number 6 of the TheFloofCast, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good day.
See you in another episode.
Bye-bye.